Hey y'all, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me life update Q&A video. So I'm going to answer all of the questions that I've been getting lately and just update you on what's going on in my life right now. So today's video is sponsored by Scentbird. So thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this video today. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that lets you test out a new perfume every single month. They work with really high-end designer brands like Gucci, Prada, Versace. It is for men and women both, so if you want to test out colognes, you can do that. And it's a flexible subscription, so if you want to skip a month, you can do that. It's $15 a month with free shipping, so you get to test out a really nice perfume for a fraction of the price that you would pay if you actually bought the whole bottle. You can search for different perfumes by brand or occasion or season, and you can even take a quiz on their website that will match you with perfumes that they think you'll love. I have a few perfumes that I'm going to test out really quick, and then we will get into the Q&A. So the fragrance comes in a little tube like this, and it's like a little lipstick tube. You twist it up and then pull it out. So that's a really good amount. It says it's a 30-day supply, but I think this would last me a lot longer than 30 days. So this one is Bella Essence by Oscar de la Renta. So this is like a clean, fresh kind of smell. There's like a little bit of floral, but it's mostly just like a really fresh smell. I really like this. And then this one is Sandalwood and Oak by Scents of Wood. This one's more of like a musk kind of smell. This one's a little bit more masculine. It definitely smells like a little more outdoorsy. All right, and then the last perfume is Guilty by Gucci. Oh yeah. This one is more of like a winter warm kind of smell. I think this one is probably my favorite of the three. If you want to try out Scentbird, make sure you use the link in the description box and use my code, which is Casey30, and that'll get you 30% off your first month, which makes it just $10, which is such a great deal to try out a high-end designer perfume and so much more affordable than buying the whole bottle. So thanks again to Scentbird for letting me try out these perfumes and for sponsoring this video, and let's just get into the Q&A. Okay, so I already have these two things on my face, my CeraVe moisturizer with SPF and then the Drunk Elephant anti-pollution sunshine drops. And I've been loving this Milk Hydro Grip primer. So I'm gonna use this today. It works so well. It is like a gripping primer. It makes your makeup last all day long. Okay, so first question is, during your hotel stays, have you ever had to call the front desk due to noisy neighbors? So no, I've never called the front desk, but I do remember one time I was on a layover in Pittsburgh. It was a super short layover. There was like some kind of like tournament, some like high school girls were in the room next to me. They were just having a good time, nothing wrong with it, but they woke me up in the middle of the night and they were super loud. And I know it was super late and I know I had like a really early van time the next day. So I got out of bed and I just like banged on the wall that was between us, and I was like, hey, I'm glad you girls are having a good time, but I've got to go to work early in the morning, so could you try to be quiet? And they were like, sorry. So I didn't call the front desk, but I have had noisy neighbors before. All right, next I'm gonna do my foundation, and I've been loving Too Faced Born This Way. And the next question is there an estimation of when I will have my job back? This foundation definitely oxidizes, so it looks kind of crazy right now, but just give it a minute. But the answer to that question is no. There is no estimation for when we'll get our jobs back. We're all just kind of on a waiting list, I guess, to come back. So as they need more flight attendants, they will go down the list by seniority and call those people back. Next, I'm going in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. The next question is, do you see being a flight attendant as a career or just something until something else comes along? I'm definitely in it for the long haul. Being a flight attendant is definitely, it's my dream job, it's my career, it's my everything. Can you just go on to any flight if it has empty seats for free trips? Yes, pretty much. Why should we come to visit Dallas, Texas? I don't have an answer for you. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to live in Dallas, because it's not really like a tourist destination. So I don't really know why you should visit. Okay, this is an easy one. Do you like working on Boeing or Airbus? Definitely Airbus, just because when I first got hired, my company was still separated into two separate companies. We were going through a merge. And so the company that I was hired with when we were still two separate companies, they only flew Airbus. So my first 6 months, I flew only Airbus all the time, and I just got so used to it. So I definitely still just have Airbus in my heart because of those first 6 months. Next, I'm going to use a powder. Sometimes I don't use powder, but today I'm going to. This is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder. Least favorite turn and most favorite turn. I don't know. Vegas is probably one of my least favorites just because normally everyone is drinking and it just makes everything a little more stressful. But most favorite turn, well, I mean, definitely like Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, just because those are super short. Best thing about living in Texas, definitely the fact that it is super affordable. That's another reason why I really wanted to be based here, just because it's so much more affordable to live in Texas than so many of our other bases. The apartment that I live in right now, I'm paying the same amount, if not less, than the crash pad that I lived in Queens when I was New York based. It was a really nice crash pad and I had a room to myself and a bathroom, but still. How do you put up with rude and disruptive passengers? It's really not that bad. Normally people aren't that rude, but if I do encounter a really rude person, we're only together for a brief period of time and then I'm never gonna see them again. So I just kind of try to be nice and calm and patient, and then I'm never gonna deal with them again. Next, I'm gonna do my bronzer. This is my favorite bronzer of all time, my Benefit Hoola bronzer. Can you still fly for free during the furlough? Yes. Do you like living in the Dallas area / Texas? Yes, I love it. I don't see myself leaving anytime soon. When are Europeans gonna be allowed in America again? I hope soon, and I hope that Americans are allowed in Europe again soon. All right, next question. Is there a family vacation that stands out in your mind as a favorite? If so, where did you go? My family didn't really travel a whole lot growing up. Like the big thing, if you're from Bowling Green, Kentucky, the closest beach is Destin, Florida. So a lot of summers we would go to Destin. It's like a 7-hour drive. So I feel like that was pretty much all we did until like my junior year of high school, and we went on a cruise, and it was the coolest thing ever. I absolutely loved it, and I haven't been on a cruise since, but it was so much fun. What is one thing you wish more people would acknowledge about you? Well, as a flight attendant, I wish that more people would acknowledge that I don't have an answer to everything. It's so crazy, and sometimes I just like don't even know how to react to some of the questions that I get. Next question is, what was your degree in? Do you plan to go in that field? I got my degree in psychology and I got a minor in French, and I have absolutely no plans to ever go into psychology. Next, I'm gonna do my blush, and I love this Milani Baked Blush. I think it's so beautiful. So the question that was most asked is, what am I gonna do now that I'm furloughed? Right now, at this point, I don't really need to be looking for another job. I've been making enough money from YouTube to be able to make this my job, and I'm really grateful for that, and I'm so grateful to y'all for watching my videos, because I could put in all the work and spend hours and hours editing videos, but if no one watches them, then I don't make any money from ads, and if my videos don't get views, then maybe brands wouldn't want to work with me. So every time I say thank you for watching my videos, I really mean it, and I'm just really grateful for the position in life that I'm in right now. I just don't really need a whole lot of money to be able to support myself. I mean, it's just me. All I have to take care of is me. It's not like I have kids running around to take care of. You know, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have a car payment, I don't have debt or student loans. So I'm really just content with where I am right now, and just, you know, happy to keep doing YouTube. The best part about being a flight attendant, definitely flying for free. Are you a Christian? Yes. Would you work on a private jet? I don't really know much about it, but if it was something that I could do like for a little bit, I don't see why I wouldn't. Next, I'm gonna do my eyeshadow, and this is my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette, the Tartelette In Bloom palette. Next question is, what is your favorite barbecue in Texas? Definitely Heart 8 barbecue. I haven't had a whole lot of barbecue in Texas, but I remember when I was here for flight attendant training, we kept asking the Uber drivers everywhere we went where we should go get barbecue, and they all said Heart 8. So I went there with my family after graduation, and it was really good. So another question that I got asked a lot was, am I going to stay in Dallas or move back to Kentucky while I'm furloughed? And I'm definitely staying in Dallas. I don't plan on moving back to Kentucky. Okay, next question is, what plant do I like the most? And this little pothos is probably my favorite. I just think it's so pretty and it's so easy to take care of. What is your favorite place you've ever traveled, and what are you gonna do in your free time? I think that Tokyo is just like such a cool place to say that I've been, and it's just definitely somewhere that I probably never would have gone if it wasn't for my job. So that's definitely one of my favorite places that I've ever traveled. But what I'm gonna do in my free time, I've been getting this question a lot. I'm planning on still traveling. You know, obviously I'm not going to be working as a flight attendant, but I can still use my travel benefits. But I definitely want to go home to Kentucky and see my family for a little bit. Sydney and I have plans to go visit some national parks. And then I also have friends that live in different parts of the country that I haven't seen in a long time that I would love to go and visit. Any good books you recommend? The Flight Attendant is such a good book, and not just because it's called The Flight Attendant. That was such a good book and one that I just could not put down. And also, the girl in the book is named Casey. She's a flight attendant and she went to University of Kentucky. So that was a really good book. I felt like I was reading a book about myself. But there's also Ruth Ware is really good. The Woman in Cabin 10 is really good. The Couple Next Door is really good. If there's a new stimulus, will you be rehired? I have no idea. I don't know what is going on with that. I don't know if they would give the airlines enough money to bring everybody back or just some people. What would be your dream job if you weren't a flight attendant? Definitely something travel related. I guess probably like a travel blogger. Next question is, are there options for private airline work? Curious if they are more or less impacted. So I really don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but I do know that several regional airlines are hiring right now, which is crazy to me. Like, that's so awesome that any airline is hiring right now. But for private airlines, that is a world that I really don't know anything about. Okay, next question is, what's the funniest thing a passenger has ever done on a flight you worked? I remember when I first started flying, I was working a flight from, I think, Charlotte to Vegas, and there was this group of passengers, and this guy was wearing a Corvette museum or Corvette plant hat, and where I'm from in Kentucky, that's where the Corvette plant / Corvette museum is. So I was like, hey, that's where I'm from. Like, have you been there? That's where I'm from. I'm from Bowling Green, whatever. And so like the whole group like turns and like looks at me and they're like, you're from Bowling Green? We love Bowling Green. Did you hear that? The flight attendant's from Bowling Green. So they were all just like so giddy to talk about Bowling Green, Kentucky. That was just a really funny experience. Okay, do flight attendants get to eat airplane food too? Yes, my first year of flying, I basically lived on airplane food. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This stuff is the best setting spray ever. What is your favorite worship song? I guess it's called Waymaker. I'm not gonna sing it for you because I can't sing, but that's probably my favorite song right now. Next question, Cardinals or Wildcats? Wildcats, you already know. What's one goal you want to accomplish during this time? I definitely want to start eating better. I feel like being home a lot more, there's no excuse for me to keep eating unhealthy. So I guess that's not really like a goal that I want to accomplish, but it's like something that I want to like work on, getting like overall healthier. Next question is, will you be building your YouTube channel with travel content while you're furloughed? Gonna try out this L'Oreal telescopic mascara. I saw this on TikTok, and TikTok has never steered me wrong. Yes, I'm gonna try to travel as much as I can while I'm furloughed, just because it's a unique opportunity for me right now. So yes, hopefully I will get to post a lot of travel content on my YouTube channel. How did you spend your first, oh, this is a very interesting applicator. How did you spend your first year as a flight attendant? I got based in Philadelphia right out of training, hated it. I spent 2 months there and left and went to Charlotte. I really loved Charlotte. I lived in a crash pad for probably like 7 or 8 months, and then I moved into an Airbnb by myself in like uptown Charlotte, and I absolutely loved it. That's when I really decided that I loved living by myself. But that first year I had a lot of just really fun domestic layovers. I never got to do international. So I was based in Charlotte until March, I think March, and then I went to New York for a month. And then I got to come to Dallas after a month in New York, so my first year was just so crazy. I'm actually pretty impressed with this mascara. Okay, I like this question. What's the thing you'll miss least about the job? So ever since we started with the mask policy, people have been like tattling on each other for not wearing the masks, and it's just been so annoying because these grown adults are asking me to ask the person next to them to put on their mask. And I'm like, they're sitting right next to you. Like, you can easily ask them to put on your put on their mask if you're uncomfortable. So that I'm definitely not gonna miss dealing with that. And then also just passengers who are complaining about social distancing on the plane. For a few months we did like 75% capacity or something like that for social distancing on the planes, and we're not doing that anymore. So, you know, when you buy a plane ticket, there's a possibility that that flight will be full. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people's pictures I've been in just because they're shaming the airline on, you know, Twitter or whatever it is, and so they take a picture of the full flight, and I know my face has just got to be like, and people will just make comments to me, well, what about social distancing, and, you know, complaining about that, and I just don't really know what to say because I didn't buy the plane ticket. Dealing with that, I'm not gonna miss that. Okay, which European city is your favorite to travel to? Definitely Paris. Favorite show on Netflix right now? I've been watching Selling Sunset on Netflix, and I like it. I like seeing like the $1 million mansions that they're selling and stuff, but like I don't really care for all the drama. There's a girl on the show from Kentucky, so I really like her. Tell us about your first trip as a flight attendant. So my first trip, I was based in Philly, and I remember I got so like motion sick on the first flight that I didn't even get through the whole service. I had to sit down, and a deadheading crew member finished the service for me, which was so nice of her. And I remember it was like a quick flight, so we didn't have a lot of time. I think we went to Boston. It was just one leg to Boston. So my first layover was in Boston, and my whole crew went to the Cheers bar, and I've always loved the show Cheers, so that was really fun. Would you ever consider living overseas again? I don't think I could leave my family for more than like a few months at a time, so I don't think that I would. I really like this question. If you knew these troubling days were coming last year, where would you have traveled and why? I definitely think I would have gone to Australia, New Zealand. I just have always wanted to go, and just knowing that my airline flies there, I'm like mad at myself, like why didn't I do it? If that was like a dream destination, why didn't I just go? Like what was stopping me? What was I doing? What state is next on your bucket list? I really want to go to Maine. This is a good question. As an introvert, is it draining to interact with so many people when flying? That is the exact word that I would use. It is draining, but I feel like those like quick interactions with passengers aren't as draining as the conversations and like meeting a whole new crew and like having to talk about myself with a new crew every few days. I feel like that is what is draining and exhausting to me in my job as a very introverted person. And I'm gonna use my NYX Satin Ribbon. This is really the only lipstick in my life, but 2020 wasn't really the year to start trying out new lipsticks. What's your favorite national and international place you visited as a flight attendant? Paris. I feel like I've talked about Paris so many times in this video already, but probably Paris was my best international trip that I've had working. And then domestic, I used to love, when I was based in Charlotte, I would have like 24-25 hour layovers in LA, and we would stay in like the downtown hotel, but I would always get on the what's it called there, it's not the subway, the metro, I think it's called the metro, out to what's the beach called, Santa Monica. So I would get on the train, go to the beach, sit at the beach all day, and then come back, take a nap, and then work the red-eye flight back to Charlotte that night. I mean, that was just, I was living the dream. All right, last question for today. I know you love the beach. Would you live in it? Would you go as far as like Bali, Philippines? I think that's probably too far for me, but I do love the beach. I would love to live on a beach someday. All right, so that wraps it up for this Q&A. I hope that y'all enjoyed getting ready with me and just learning about what's going on in my life right now. Let me know if you liked this style of Q&A or if I should just sit and answer questions next time, but I think I really enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see my future videos, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.